birth is an incredibly transformative experience for the body. Yet there are culturally ingrained perspectives that shape how people respond to this time. And one of the most common patterns I've noticed is a tendency to go into scarcity, where from the moment someone finds out that they're pregnant, they put their attention on limiting beliefs. This scarcity mindset can lead them to make choices from a place of fear, which ultimately creates an experience that reflects those fears back to them. And the same pattern often plays out with body changes after birth. As a mother who just gave birth to my third baby, I fully understand the challenges of adjusting to these changes. I face them myself. But at the same time, I recognize that I always have a choice. I can focus on frustration, or I can choose to see my body as the miracle that it is. Perfect, incredibly sexy. In our culture, the bounce back narrative is deeply disempowering. And yet so many people consciously or unconsciously believe that their worth is tied to their weight, their sexual appeal, or how others perceive their beauty. And these unreasonable beauty standards were largely created by corporations profiting off of insecurities, often under the governance of men. Research has shown that beauty norms are not just arbitrary. They are deliberately manufactured by industries that make billions from women's insecurities. So the idea that someone has to get their body back to be seen as successful or worthy is a Western construct. And I encourage you to consider whether this is something you want to carry forward for your children. Is this a belief you want to uphold? Is this where you want to place your attention? We can't always control what comes up for us. Emotions, triggers, thoughts will arise because we're human, but we always have the power to choose where we put our attention. And there is a cultural theme of expecting far too much from women, often in ways that are completely unrealistic and even biologically impossible. For example, the military used to require breastfeeding mothers to meet a certain level of physical fitness just 6 months postpartum, which is an impossible standard for those who want to maintain a healthy milk supply. And it was only after research showed that extensive exercise could negatively impact lactation and postpartum recovery that the policy was extended to a year. We expect women to do what an entire village used to do, managing the home, caring for children, and balancing everything alone. And I invite you to explore who these expectations serve. For some, they serve a pattern of self-abandonment. It's easy to lose yourself when you're carrying an unsustainable load, but this is something you can choose to create or not with your partner. And I know from personal experience how easy it is to fall into the trap of self-sacrifice. I've used my family as a reason to abandon myself and to uphold societal expectations that tell me I have to look a certain way and take care of everyone's needs and do it all. But it's unrealistic and it is not serving me or anyone else. So the best way you can support your family, your intimacy, and your well-being is to love yourself. Work with your partner as a team to create a dynamic that feels good to both of you. See everything you contribute to your family as valuable, even if it doesn't mean doing everything yourself. So here are 3 steps to loving yourself. Step 1, transform your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the limiting beliefs or disempowering thoughts that you're feeding yourself, and then reframe them. Speak to the truth of who you actually are. You are perfect. You are beautiful. You are strong, and you are worthy of love. And you are no less deserving of love than your own children. And treating yourself with the same level of love and compassion you want your child to have for themselves is the best way to help them create a loving relationship with their own body. And your limiting beliefs, they're just stories. They're thoughts that don't actually define you. And this practice becomes even more important in postpartum when hormonal shifts can cause intrusive thoughts. And this happens to so many people, especially when their menstrual cycle returns. So it's important to remember that you are not your thoughts. You are the consciousness that witnesses them, and you can choose where you place your attention. Step 2, set a standard for how you want to be treated. Partners have rough moments, and it's normal to have stuff come up between you two because you're human. But if your partner is treating you in a way you wouldn't want your child to be treated by their partner, it's important that you address it. The way you and your partner handle conflict becomes your child's model for relationships. So if you want to support your intimacy, your self-love, and your partnership, Hold a standard for how you want to be treated, especially by the person closest to you. Number 3, reconnect with your physical body. Many of us have had a self-pleasure practice before we ever had sex with a partner. And now in your new body, it's even more important to explore your sensations. And things may feel different, and that's okay. Taking time to rediscover your body in your own space without pressure can make a profound difference in how comfortable you feel in your skin and how connected you feel to your pleasure. And that doesn't mean that grief or other emotions won't come up. They might. But if something arises, allow yourself to feel it fully and then shift your attention to something else. If it keeps returning, just feel it again and let it pass through, and then return to celebrating the beauty and miracle of your body. Because your body is a miracle. You brought a human being into the world. Congratulations! But for some reason, our culture does not honor or celebrate this as it should. So it's easy to skip over the acknowledgement that your body deserves, to follow a cultural norm of bouncing back. But bouncing back isn't a biological reality, and trying to do so does not serve you or anyone in your family. Your uterus grew a baby, nourished that baby, and brought them safely earthside. So consider this. A baby is protected in the womb because of the mother's immune system and how it's designed not to attack it, despite the baby carrying different DNA. A single sperm out of hundreds of thousands reached an egg, and that egg contains around 500,000 mitochondria. And this meeting creates a bright light. Scientists have observed a literal zinc spark at conception. Your baby's cells have an independent identity from you. They know exactly how to form and where to go. Fetal blood cells can be taken from the blood draw of a mother to determine the baby's sex and blood type. Fetal cells remain in the parent's body for life, which means your baby is in some ways always with you. Your body did that. Your body is divine. You recognizing the absolute miracle of your existence broadcasts that self-love to your children. And it's a beautiful way to live and see the world. We are here to honor ourselves. We are here to teach each other, to uplift each other, and to build a world where our children grow up knowing that they are worthy and deeply loved. And that starts right here with you, loving yourself, honoring yourself, and choosing to see the sacred miracle of the body that you live in.